What's up, family? I know I look crazy, but I'm out here. It's kind of cold. It's early in the morning still. Um, Getting some walk in before I head to work. Um, Taking in the fresh air and listening to the birds and getting my thoughts together and stuff, before I head into work. Something about being out in nature that just clears your mind, you know what I mean? And just puts everything into perspective for you. I talked to you guys about feelings today. Feelings. Um, Yesterday I did something after I got off work that I never ever do. I went to the local pizza shop, and I never go there. I mean, I've gone there before in the past, but I never go there alone. I always take somebody with me. Whenever I go, either some kids or whatever. But I never really go there alone, just because I don't know. It's just something I've never done. Um, I'm sorry, I'm sitting down for a second. But yeah, I never go there alone. That being said, um, it was on my mind to go over there yesterday. So I went to the pizza shop yesterday. I went alone. And ordered my pizza, went sat down in the back. It was crowded, real crowded, and I knew it was crowded when I got there. Lady told me about 45 minutes for my food to be ready. I was like, okay, no big deal. Sat down in the back in the corner. Just start people watching. Interesting thing happened. As I was sitting there and looking at everybody else, looking at all the people walking, and where I live at, it's a tourist town. And so we get tourists from all over the world all the time, you know what I mean? And so I'm looking at all these tourists, and all different ethnicities and sizes, shapes, and colors and everything else. And everybody has somebody with them. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. Everybody has somebody with them, and I'm sitting there by myself in the back, in the corner, just people watching, waiting for my food. And everybody's booed up. You know what I mean? Everybody's hugged up, holding hands, laughing, giggling, kissing each other. And I sat there and I was just looking, and I was like just tripping out on it all, just taking it all in, right? And for some reason, it just out of nowhere, this feeling of being alone hit me. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. It wasn't just being alone. I felt lonely. I felt lonely. And I tripped out on that. I'm just being real with you guys, all right? I tripped out on that, and I just started smiling and laughing to myself. I was like, oh, heck no. You know what I mean? No, 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 no. And so I started processing it. It was like, why did I come here? What the heck is all this about? I knew I was alone when I got off work, but it was no big deal. I knew I was alone when I drove to the pizza place. It was no big deal. I knew I was alone when I walked into the pizza shop and walked past all of the large groups of people sitting on the outside of the pizza place eating their food. It was no big deal. I knew I was alone when I walked in and I saw how crowded it was and stood in line and ordered my food. Again, it was no big deal. It wasn't until I sat down and started focusing on the people that lonely feeling hit me. It wasn't until I started looking around at everybody and focusing on them that feeling of loneliness hit me. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And I started laughing to myself. I'm not a lonely person, all right? I'm not a lonely person at all. Backdrop. Sunday, I had the privilege of being able to sit down, go out to eat with my queen, her mom and sister. A nice meal, Went to Red Lobster, enjoyed ourselves, And the connection that this young lady and I have, man, it's their energy, the vibe, it's out of this world. It's out of this world. I've never had that type of connection with anyone. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. I've never had that type of connection with anyone before. And here it is. Now, 3 days later, I'm alone and I'm feeling lonely. In the past, that would have been all bad news. You know what I mean? In the past, feeling lonely would make me get up and go hook up with somebody. In the past, I would have got in relationships that I didn't need, relationships that I really didn't want, just not to be alone. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. So here I am, 51, sitting in a this pizza factory, sitting in the pizza factory all by myself, in the corner, at a table all by myself, crowded with people, and I feel lonely. I feel lonely in a crowded place. Stay with me. I didn't feel lonely walking in. I didn't feel lonely ordering my pizza. I didn't feel lonely when I sat down. It's only when I began to focus on everybody else and what they were doing, that I began to feel lonely. And I started laughing. It's like, I'm not lonely. You know what I mean? I'm not a lonely person. You know what I mean? And I told myself that, and it's like the feeling just left. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. Family. What we think, what we focus on, affects. It's a direct connection to our feelings. I'm going to say that again. What we think about, what we focus on, has a direct connection to our feelings. Again, when I walked into the pizza place, my mind was, man, what am I going to eat? As I'm standing in, I'm looking at all the people, I'm hearing all the people, but I'm not focused on them because I'm looking at the menu, like, what am I going to get? So my mind was preoccupied. My mind was focused on something else. I knew all the people were there. I knew I was alone, but I didn't feel lonely. I knew all the people was there. It was crowded. It wasn't until I changed my thinking, the focus of my thinking, that my feelings changed. Say again, it wasn't until after I ordered my pizza and until I started focusing on all the people that my feelings changed. You have control over your feelings by how you think. Say that again. You have control, total control, over your feelings by what you think and what you're thinking about. As I sat there and I processed it, it's like, man, I'm not a lonely person. And I started remembering times in the past where I would jump into something stupid, you know what I mean? And it's like, man, I'm so glad I'm beyond that. You know what I mean? I'm so glad that I've outgrown that stupid stuff. You know what I mean? I'm so glad that I don't need somebody in my life physically with me right here, right now, every second for me not to feel alone. You know what I mean? I'm so glad that I don't have to have somebody at my beckoning call every second. You know what I mean? For me to feel comfortable and to feel wanted and to feel desired and to feel loved. Family, however you feel, good or bad, you have total control over that. You have total control over your feelings. We have to learn how to master our mind. There's been so many books, so many teachers, so many people that have come out and talked about the battle of the mind. The battle of the mind. You have to understand, family, the battle for your mind is everything. Everything on social media is about getting your attention. Everything on news, it's about getting your attention. All the commercials, everything is about getting your attention. It's a battle for your mind. You have to learn how to control your mind. We don't want to accept responsibility for it. We want to blame everybody else. We want to be a victim. Whoopty, 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 whoop. It's your responsibility. And your responsibility alone to learn how to control your mind. You can't control what thoughts come to you, but you control what you think about. You can't control what thoughts come to your mind. I'll say that again. But you have total control over whether you think about those thoughts or whether I ain't thinking about that, and you push that out. Most of us don't have that self-control. And so we get fixated on whatever thought is planted in our head or whatever thought comes to our mind, we're stuck with it because we don't have self-control. We don't know how to get rid of it. My hope and prayer is that you learn that you need self-control. That you need to learn, and you learn how to control your mind. Control what you think about. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.